Hello everybody, I'm gonna show you how to do this nice splash. So it's gonna be procedural, so it's gonna be pretty nice. So you have this, of course, color, you can choose color, size, how big do you want it to be, opacity like this, you have the sharpen, you want it more, maybe you want it more like cartoony style or something, I don't know. And you can change the shape, detail. So no shape, and you add some kind of offset, right? So let's get started and do it. First off, we're just gonna delete this one. We're gonna do it from scratch. And we need a quad. We're gonna place it in the center, rotate it. Here we have it. I'm gonna remove the mesh collider. We don't need it. So we're gonna make shader graph, HDRP lit shader graph, and I'm gonna name it shader graph procedural splash. Nice. So we're gonna have a material from that one. So I'm gonna do a map. And assign it. So we have it set up. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure we have the shape. So we're gonna make the shape inside the shader, and we're gonna start with an UV tiling and offset. So to explain how to do this, I'm actually gonna make a copy of this one. It's gonna be easier. So we're gonna use a distance node to make this happen. So in the UV space, you have the UV starting from 0, 0 in this corner and going up to 1, 1, this one. So if you see the X like this, so you can tell it's the X this direction, right? So we're just gonna offset this one, right? Do it like this. So we have a negative 0.5, and we're gonna have the same here, negative 0.5, and we have the center. So I'm gonna show you what's happening here. So the coordinates, because we did offset on this one, the coordinates here, this point is in the coordinate space 0, 0. Here the coordinate position in this UV space is 0.5, 0.5. So this is 0.0, and this one is actually now negative 0.5 and negative 0.5. So what this tells us is that there is a distance down to here, and I'm just gonna make some more space. So what's happening here is so when we plug this in one, this in one to the distance node, what happened is that this point has the value 0, 0, so the distance on this vector 0, 0 is black. 0. But this point up here is 0.5 dot 0.5. So this distance is actually 0.5. So this value up here will have the distance value 0.5 saved in the color here. So this is more representing a single float value. 0.5. This point here has a 0.25, and this dot here actually is something 0. Maybe 7-ish, something like that. So here, when we did not offset the center, the distance up here is to 1, and this distance here is 1.4-ish, something. So now when you hopefully understand that, this saves the distance value and not the coordinate system. So now when we have this one, we can plug it into, we actually do the color first. We're gonna have a quad. So now let's make this more to a circle. The first thing we want to do is to subtract her here, and we're gonna make it like this. We're gonna have a float here, plug it in here. So if we subtract here, this value here, that's maybe 0.2, gonna be subtracted with some value. That means the value gonna get closer to black. So if we increase the value, we make a circle. Now we need to make this circle more sharp, and we can do that by multiplying. So if we do a multiplier here, and we do a float, and we just drag this one, you can see we create a circle. Now what's happening here that's pretty important is that because here the center is black, and which means it's 0, and here it's 0 minus this dot 27. So it actually means that this value is negative, and here we multiply the negative value, so this is maybe minus 9 or something. And also true with this value here, so maybe this is 0.5, and here it's 15. So we'll need to remap it. So you can see there's some kind of thing going on here, and we need to remap this stuff. Or we don't need to remap, we can just use clamp. That's actually what I meant, a clamp. Now if we put in the clamp, it should be so this is more what I'm looking for. So of course if we do 100 here, you get a really sharp edge, so that's nice. And so what we could do to make the value, instead of from 0 to 100, we can use a remap here. So if we have a float and plug it into a remap, and we change the value, the input value is from 0 to 1. The output value is from 0 to 100, which means if we do 0.2 here, it will be 20 out. So if we plug it in, this setup is super nice because then we can just promote this to make this an variable to have as a slider. So instead of having a slider between 0 and 100, we have a slider between 0 and 1 in the interface later on. So if we have the slider up to 1, we have a really sharp edge. So this is nice. And yeah, now we want to actually, later on, this is going to be a mask in the alpha. So we want it the other way around. So it's pretty easy to change that. We just do 1 minus, like this. Now it represents the mask we want. So now we got the shape up and running. So now we need to kind of distort this shape. So first off, you see this here. You see this UV node. This is a tiny node. It's actually the same as this one. So if we plug this one in, there's no difference. And why we want to use this one is because we want to add something in between here. So now you see, now we're adding like nothing, so it's obviously no difference. But if we add to Z it like this, you see we manipulate the circle. And if we do this with a noise instead, we're gonna get some random shape on this one. So we're gonna make a noise, a simple noise, and we're gonna change this. Actually, we just let's see. We're gonna so if we add 1 to I, you see we add it. There's a big difference going on. And because the values in the noise is between 0 and 1, and we plug this one into here, there's kind of strong offsets going on, and we don't really want it to be that strong. So if you look at this shape here, if we change this noise, you see there's actually I said wrong, but I did another thing. What I do now is that I change the noise size. So there's two things that we're going to do. One is that we're going to have a little bit more shape like this, but we also, instead of just adding a positive value, we want to add a negative value as well, because the input here is between 0 and 1, but we want to add values that's between -1 up to 1. So we get get offset up and down, left and right. So we just need to first off remap. So as I said, the input is between 0 and 1, and we want the output to be between -1 and 1. So this means that if I input a value at 0.5, the output value will become 1. And with that noise, now you see the noise is more in the center, but it's super strong. So we also want to change the strength of this noise. So we don't want this to be as powerful as -1 and 1. We want it to be, if we do it like 10%, so .1, you see the shape is more not distorted so much. So if we now change the size here, you can see that we're starting to have a really nice shape on the circle. And of course, if we want to have a strength on this one, we can as well do that. We're going to leave it on 0.2 for now. So that's nice. So if we save this asset, now you see there's our splash. So now let's just swap it to the alpha channel and do it like this. And here you have it, not visible, but we just need to change some stuff. So in the graph inspector, graph settings, in the surface options, you see the surface type. We want it to be transparent. The compiling shader, and here you have it. And we also want to add a color. So if we do a color in here, and we can change this one to, I like orange. Let's go with orange. So if we change, save this now, and here we got it. Not working. That's because we need to go into the material here, surface options, and you can see material type. No, surface type is supposed to be transparent. Nice. And also you see there is some kind of border, so it's a specularity that's causing this. So if we preserve specularity, if we disable that, we get rid of the specularity. So now we have a splash. And in the expose properties, we have nothing. So let's expose some stuff. So what do we want to have? We want to have, let's start with the size. So this is the size. So let's promote this to convert to a property, and we name it size. And we want the size to be a slider between 0 and 0.5. And why we do 0 and 0.5? Because we want, when we add from the center to the edge, the maximum is 0.5. So that's why we put the value 0.5 here. So also we want some opacity. So we just make a float, and we make a multiply here. So if we plug this into the alpha, and we have this float here, so we put it to 1, so it's fully opaque. Convert to property, make this opacity, and we slider, and we also take this color, and we convert it to property. This is the color, super nice. And what else do we got? We got some here we got this sharpen edge, so we could expose it, convert to property. Let's do sharpen, and we do that between 0 and 1. 0 and 1, and see we have so this is the detail on the shape noise. Let's make that convert to, okay, we need to make our own float, and we plug that float in, and that 20 maybe. Right click, property, noise, shape is actually splash shape. And also, we could actually add another one thing that's pretty nice to have. Make a float, put it into the... No, not remap. I'm thinking about something, I'm not really sure. Well, we could actually just do the strength as well. And let's make convert and make shape string. Also do that between 0 and 1. And let's do the default to 0.2. So now you see it doesn't really show up the values, and that's because we need to save and close and reopen it. But it do work in the scene. So if we do the scene, the size should work, and the opacity should work, and the sharpen, we want it more blurry, splash. And here we get the splash shape, and also the strength of the offset of the shape. So yeah, so that's how you do it. Thank you so much for watching.